Hey, what's up, guys? Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about efficiency and effectiveness. And I'm saying that today because I got a lot going on today. So, my name's Gus. I'm with KW Commercial. I'm the commercial director here in Central Florida. And I have a lot going on today, and I really got to figure out how to be super efficient with my time. So, I'm going to be using today as an exercise in really being highly productive with the time that I have. In order to kind of stay as efficient and as effective as possible, I'm going to be kind of recording this as I'm doing some work, so I apologize. I got to look at my calendar anyways. I do have a meeting I have at 10 o'clock, which is in about 45 minutes. And then I have an appointment and I have to show some property later on this afternoon. I still got to fit in my 75 hard workout for the afternoon. So I really got to figure out the best way to get through the day and actually be productive. So what I'm going to be doing this morning is I'm actually prepping for the appointment that I have later on this afternoon, so that I can be ready to go and ready to rock and roll. So this is something that comes up often where there's just a lot of stuff to do, and then you kind of get lost in the mix in the business, get lost in your business, and you have no time to work on your business. So this video is me working on my business in terms of this doesn't really necessarily help my business per se, but I know that it's going to be helpful. The fact that I'm actually just talking through what I have to do today and all that other good stuff and things that have been helpful, those things are good, like on my business activities. So I may end up keeping this particular video a little bit more brief than I've done in the past, but as my days go by, I'll have appointments, and then I'll have to really identify the best ways to make use of the time that I have available. So I have a few blocks of time that I can use to to do things that are not necessarily business oriented. However, I do have to travel to my appointment this afternoon, and then I have to travel to show some property this afternoon. So I'm not going to be able to be I'm not going to be in front of a desk, and I got to take into consideration travel time. So I don't have a ton of time today, but when I look at days like this, I sometimes I get a little overwhelmed because I want to get these other things done, and I have to just identify, okay, well, what are the sort of the key things that I need to get done for today. So one of the things that I'm going to be doing after this video is kind of looking at, well, what are some things that I can do with the blocks of time that I have, and even if it's just one thing, one good thing, then I think I'll be okay, because I would have at least done the one good thing that would be important in building my business. And it's all these little micro steps to get me to some milestone that's going to ultimately make a difference, right? That the consistency that I talked about yesterday and I've been kind of chatting about over the last week, I think that's part of it. So that just sort of these little steps that I take from day in and day out, as long as I'm taking a step forward, then I think ultimately it's helpful. And it's not to say that you can't take a step back in order to take more steps forward, because sometimes that does have to happen too. But in the interim, whatever I have going on, whatever opportunity I have to be able to take some steps forward, I'm going to do. So I'm going to be focusing today over the next between now and my meeting to identify, I think that's going to be what I identify as the one thing that I actually want to get done that's working on my business. And then I'm going to use the block of time after the meeting that I'm going into at 10 o'clock. After that meeting is done, I'm going to be working on what I can do to prepare for my appointment that's coming in the afternoon. And that should give me what I need. And then I'll probably have a little bit of time later on this evening to kind of work on the one thing that I want. So I know that I'm going to have just sort of a little window of time. So I got to find something that is going to be quite precise, that I can probably get done in maybe an hour and a half, something like that. No more than an hour and a half, because I'm not going to have too much time today. So I think an hour and a half is probably about as long a time as I have. So I got to figure out, well, what can I do in an hour and a half that would be super productive for me, so that I'm making some additional steps forward in my business. And like I mentioned earlier this week, I want to get some things completed. One of those things is a form for people who come to my website, and then I have a couple videos that I need to have done by the end of the week as well. So I got a number of things that need to be completed, in order for me to be able to progress forward, and I don't want those things to bleed into next week. I need to have them done this week. That's kind of my goal for this week, my objective for this week. So I got to figure out, well, what can I do today when I only have maybe an hour and a half of time where I can dedicate to some of those things. What can I do today to get that move forward, even if it's a tiny little step? It's at least a step forward. So that's my day. I'm going to be getting out a little early today on this video, but if you like what you're hearing, please make sure you like and share to anyone you think might have some value for these kinds of videos. Hit the bell, those kinds of things. If you have any comments on what I'm working on, either some experience that you've had, some recommendations that you have, I'm open. I mean, I'm not, like I said, I think I've mentioned this before, I'm not some guru. I'm just documenting my process for the growth of my business. So I'd love to get any feedback that you have, or if you have any questions that you want me to kind of cover or talk about, I'm happy to kind of chat about any of those things as well. So I really appreciate your time. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.